Okay, good morning traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll go through the live order flow analysis using Bookmap and look for trading opportunities. It is all in simulation demo paper trading mode. We will read the current market and we will look for potential setups in Bookmap. And I'll show you a lot of different resources that you can use to learn more about order flow and looking for those opportunities. Let's go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. We're going to look at the S&P E-mini, and I have my anchored VWAP on here. I'm going to take that off, actually. Maybe we can cover it another time. It's just testing something in there. New anchored VWAP strategy, or add-on we have. Really popular, a lot of people using it. I'll tell you why I'm not looking at it and what we're going to go through here. In this education, this is like a foundation webinar on order flow. And we will go over add-ons, etc. But this is about really understanding the order flow. And if you are interested in that, then I recommend you go to bookmap.com and then click on education here and then go to the learning center. Okay, there's a market mechanics course that I recommend that you watch, and it goes through understanding the basics in the order flow, and this is essential. This is a different kind of education than a lot of people are used to, so check it out, and you'll really start to understand the details of what moves the market. Okay, what influences the market. It's all about the players and the orders. That's it. The market is made up of orders. Without orders, there is no market. Okay, so that's what we want to understand, and that's what order flow is all about, and that's what these webinars are all about. It's not about lines on a chart and your moving averages or your MACD or your RSI, etc. Anyway, let's jump in and take a look here. So what do we have and what's going on immediately here? Well, we can see I've got data up from 6:30 onward or so, and we can see right here a shift and a change. We see that there was some limit orders here on the bid. We see buyers in here break out from an area here around 840 to the upside. Sideways consolidation, still bullish. More buyers come back in. We're looking for it to trade up into these areas here. It's as simple as this. These are where the sellers are, the majority of the sellers. That's where price goes. Okay, now this is on a bigger scale in here, but the concept is the same. And then we have our cash open here, 930, trade right up into it. We get a lot of these guys, they get filled in here on the offer. We do not trade up into this 21 or 22 area here. We see the back and forth in here, and the market completely shifts and changes here around this 930 cash open. Now what has happened? Well, quite a bit of sellers come in, okay, down to the swing low here, and then we get a back and forth in here. Buyers come in. They cannot get above these sellers here. Sellers come back in and move it back down into high liquidity in here. So now it's getting interesting. We've come back down. We've retested almost this area here. We've definitely retested this area here where the buyers came in. This is how we can start to understand and piece together the order flow, because here we know this is where buyers came in. We also know this is where buyers came in. Okay, so we're looking for support down here. And now we might, even during this session, we might come down and blaze right through this area in here and see a lot of sellers. And it would mean that it would be a big move for today. Because right now you can see all of this trading action up here. And what we'd be looking for then is like any of the buyers in here are going to be natural sellers down here. Okay, right into the 5205, probably down to the figure down here, 5200. Okay, so just looking at some areas in here and starting to understand the orders and the transactions. And also the basically these three elements: market structure, the price action, pure price action. Let me just simplify it here. Take the heat map off, we'll take the volume dots off. Here's our price action. It's just best bid and offer streaming over time. There is no bar data in here. Okay, you can see the deviations of time in here by the gray dots or gray vertical dotted lines. If you zoom in, you'll see it recalibrate here. Now we understand like this reaction up here in the price structure. Okay? This is really important to understand. Well, this move up in here, it came back, retested kind of where it broke out from, and came back up again in here and failed to go higher. Okay, why? Well, that's when we need, so we have price structure. It's a double top. Okay, what happened though? Well, let's look at the volume. Okay, volume's good. Volume helps us. We can look at the transactions. Okay, so buyers lift the offer up into this area up in here. Sellers come in. Heavy selling comes in. Buyers come back in. Okay, but look, we can zoom in here a little closer and look at the buyers compared to the sellers. This is about as simple as it can get. We have the looks like buyers, moving the market in here, but there's a lot of selling in here. Okay, and we see some buying come back in. Big green dots in here. That looks good. Okay, do we have big green dots up in here? No, we don't. Okay, so there was no follow through. There was kind of no interest up in here. And this is as far as we got on the buy side here before sellers came in and moved it back down into some of the swings here. All right, so in fact, you can see we have a huge stop run here into just after 10 o'clock down to the swing low here. Okay, so we're understanding now context. Not the orders, the transactions, and the price action. Okay, this alone is golden. For you footprint traders out there, that's what you're looking at. You may have been looking at it for decades. We're showing it in a little different light here with pure price action. And we're showing the transactions. So there's one element still, very important element missing here. What about the other side of the trade? What about the liquidity? What makes up this auction in here? And that's with the order flow in the heat map. Okay? All the heat map is showing you is liquidity. Is derived from the order book over here, current order book. This is showing you in here, these numerical values are contracts. These are limit sell orders above the market. These are where sellers are lined up to deal. Down below, these are limit buy orders. That's it. That's all it is. But we take these numerical values and we transform or transpose them onto the chart historically. So let's zoom in here and I'll show you. Okay. For a lot of you guys, I know this is a review. I'll be done in just a second, and then we'll move on into opportunities in here, or current market order flow reads. You'll see the heat map change in here. Well, it's just the change in the liquidity in here, and the heat map reflects the change. Okay, so what it looks like, it's really complex in here. It is not. It's just the adding and pulling of liquidity. Okay, the heat map scale is up here in the top center of the chart. Red and orange, very high liquidity. Then yellow, white, blue, and black is the least amount of liquidity. Okay, so we can understand now. We can zoom out a little bit, and we can see, okay, buyers coming up here, but are they on the bid down here? What's the reaction to the bid here? Do we find more aggressive buyers, or do we find sellers want to deal with these buyers up at these higher levels here? See this liquidity here? Here's our here we're starting to see it. Buyers will likely trade into the 17 and maybe up to 18. Okay, because we see the bid stacked here. Okay, so here's our 17. Now we're looking for 18. Okay, we're just understanding the liquidity here and the reaction by the buyers or sellers. And there's 18 just transacted. Okay, this is about as simple as an order flow read as we have. It's just understanding the context of this price structure, the liquidity, and the transactions, right? So what's next? Well, maybe that's it. You know, trade it up into here. Let's see if sellers come in and try to move it back down, maybe down to 16 and a quarter here, this liquidity. Okay, the back and forth auction process here, and almost there. Okay, here, look at the offer here. What's the reaction by the buyers or sellers in here, the aggressors? You can see the aggressors come in. Okay, all right, so can we get a little more buying back up above it here? Can we see a little bit more on the bid? If so, look for a move right back to 18 and a half, 18 and a quarter here. Okay, and we're looking at a new range established in here, a value area. Okay, for all of you market profile guys, understanding your profile in here, understanding our chart range volume profile here, and look at the bid here. What's the reaction? We find buyers? No, this time no. Found some sellers. Okay, so sellers will likely, let's see if they likely trade into this here. Okay, they'll take these buyers on. Okay, there they go. Okay, now we have a little bit more up here. Okay, and they transacted too. All right, so it's becoming a little more convoluted now. Okay, we have an auction process going back and forth in here. Okay, now it's becoming a little clearer. See how we have a pathway here down to 16 and a quarter. We have a pretty strong offer. We just need those sellers to come in and come down to 16 and a quarter, maybe down to 14 and a half. Okay, we'll see if the bid pulls here. Okay, but right now, this is the auction. It's between this range here, 16 and 3/4 and 18 and a half. Okay, we know where the liquidity is. It's up here at 19 and down here at 16 and a quarter. All right, I know that was a review for you guys, a lot of you guys, but nonetheless, you know, thanks for your patience on that. Trader or Alois, yeah, you know, good call on that outside day, and I had the wrong definition on that. You saw my answer. What I wanted to get to was the you know, understanding the open auction out of range, and a gap and go type of thing. And the reason being here, now let's take a step back here, and we just kind of read the current order flow, and we saw this kind of auction up into this new zone here. We saw the breakout, right? And we saw it auction up in here. So we'll come back and revisit this in a minute here. But let's look at our bigger picture, our top-down approach. I put it in here. It's pinned in here, actually. So you guys want to find that document. I put it in here. Okay, well, just go to all the pinned stuff up here. Okay. Yeah, right here. Okay, so this is our day trading plan, and or preparation plan. Okay, so I'll need to update this, Alois, and put in outside day in here, inside outside day is incorrect. So I'll update that and we'll have a new one for you guys. But anyway, we want to prepare for the trading, economic calendar, geopoliticals. Okay, the fundamentals, the bigger picture here. Most traders and a lot of larger traders, they are reacting to the fundamental data. And that's why we want to understand what's going on in here. Okay, in my mind, I am convinced of it. It is all about the orders. That's what makes up the market. So order flow is going to tell us everything. But the fundamentals, well, then how do you make the connection there? Well, if we know that traders are reacting to the fundamentals, then we can follow that in the order flow as well. And we can take a look at it in a lot of different ways. In fact, let me try to come up with an example here. Yeah, we don't really have much data today to go through. Yeah, we just have a speaker later today, a couple different speakers later today. So, so we're going to be looking more at technical levels today. Anyway, but what I wanted to get to was how we'll see before big events in here, the liquidity drying up in certain areas. But we see the larger players staying in the order book. They're telling us what they think the market is worth, even in confrontation of the data release, okay, the economic release. They'll tell us the value and where they're willing to get filled. So that's what I mean by starting to combine the fundamentals with the order flow, right? Yeah, let's move on to the next area, the technical picture, bigger picture, daily, weekly candles, swings, etc. So let's take a look at that and let's zoom out. All right, so here we go. We've got our daily here on the left-hand side. We have our hourly in the middle and our 15-minute here on the right-hand side. And all we're looking for in here is price structure and ranges, size of candles in here. So this was yesterday. Okay, we were covering this as kind of outside day, which was my error. But it is outside of the range, and this is where we can get these kind of extended moves. Okay, very, very simple concept of within a range, we can see we're kind of, it's a value area. Well, once we start to break outside of a range, it is establishing new value. It is searching for value. Okay? And where might it go? We always look at the swings first. We look at also other structural elements in here technically. And this was the swing we were looking at yesterday as a potential test. We didn't get there. We certainly have gotten there today. Okay, and we're just testing above it in here right now. And we gapped up into that as well. Here's the hourly. Here's our 15-minute chart. Okay, so we're bullish here on all three time frames, but we are kind of hesitant in here. We know there's going to be a reaction up here. We're already starting to see the back and forth here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so we're in a range in here. Now, interesting range on the 15-minute here. Okay, so this is why we see the high here, and then we see a retest of that high, and it failed. Okay, we came back down to the low. We made a lower low here. We did not fill the gap, and then we see buyers come back in. Okay, so if we can get back up in here one more time, I'm going to look for more buyers in here to try to break that range and maybe trade up into higher levels here on the daily chart. They maybe up into 40 or 52.40 to 52.50, somewhere up in here. Right now, you can see that we're not getting that right now. We're getting our sellers come back down. All right. So if that is the case, well, then how much selling is coming in, and where might they go? Okay, first area, it looks like this 1250, and then the next one would be this 1050 swing down here, right? So let's jump into Bookmap. Let's take a look at it here, and what's going on in the order flow to reach those areas. 1050 down here. Okay, that would be the swing low of the cash session. Okay, so we saw, look, earlier we were kind of bullish in here, right? Looking for, well, we saw the breakout and we established this range. Well, we came up to the top of this range in here and it completely failed. Okay, you see the sellers come in driving that market lower, right? So now we know in this range in here, this kind of bigger range, okay, that sellers are in control in this move here. Okay, here they are moving that market away from this value area up here. Here's our retest to that value area right here. And we see more sellers come back in. Okay, great. So let's take a look here now. We'd be looking at maybe this area here where these sellers came in. See if they come in again. Or maybe that we got to come back up into this swing here. And we'll see if we get exhaustion, maybe a lot of absorption on the offer, and we look for sellers to come back in again. Okay, because we know in this small trend on this time frame, the sellers are moving the market. So we're looking for them to explore down to the bottom of this range and maybe more. All right. Okay, let's see here. No, I really appreciated Alois, that you came up with that, because like yeah, I had been erroneously thinking of outside day for God. I remember learning about what exactly the proper definition years ago, and then I thought about it in terms of you know, the out of the range area. But yeah, anyway, we can move on from that. All right, now yesterday I covered something, and it wasn't the most thought through. I wanted to get more into detail on that about range trading, and why, or different ways to consider looking at ranges, because right now we're looking for this small trend to work out to the downside, right? But we always bash around in these ranges in here. Okay, so is this ready now to move? Maybe we don't know. If seller's going to come in and try to get back down into at least 13 here, well, we need to see. Okay, now this is what I was covering yesterday in here about some of these smaller ranges, but it can also apply to bigger ranges. Right here would be a range bound trade, back up to this little area here. It's already done it. Basically, we traded here and looking for a retest back up to here. Okay, we got more sellers again. Right now, bear with me on this in here, because there's a whole lot of reasons why this works, especially in the stock indexes. We can talk about the naked volume or naked point of control, and why we get retests into areas and then rejection. Right, so we see it all the time in here in these ranges, and this is something that you can really utilize. So like for example, right now, okay, here we are back up here. Okay, we know there's more sellers in here. We know that in the bigger picture we're looking for sellers. Okay, but we're looking for the top of this range in here, and then maybe even explore just a little bit further, and then rejection. Okay, and that's where we're looking for the move lower. Okay, so here we go. Here's our move back up here. Now that would be the opportunity. Okay, so let's see here. I already missed it. But here, we'll get in. And now we're looking for fading that back into the range here. Okay, so testing out here into this area in here where more sellers came in. Okay, now it's going totally against us. We're getting actually more buyers come in up in this area here. Now we got it. Looks like we tested up to this area here, and now we're finding some sellers. Okay, so now we're looking for sellers down here to pull it down to the bottom of the range. All right, so and then we're looking for a potential rejection down here. So in this small move, I am going to take my profit down here. I'm just looking for it to trade down to here. Okay, we can look at a lot of order flow elements in here as well, but we've got to trade to it here and below it. I want to see it test below it, and now it might trend below it too. All right, but we just want to see it test below it. All right, and then a potential rejection. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get more in. This is kind of tricky to go over in here because it actually confronts a lot of our previous education and kind of conflicts with some of it because we are still looking in the bigger picture. We're looking for the trend lower, right? But we're looking for these pullbacks in here, and we're looking for rejection in areas and then continuation with the trend. Right, so let's look at another little area in here. Here's our it would be right up here. Okay, let's just mark them up. Okay, this is it here. This is the next one up here. This is the zone that we're talking about. Okay, and then testing this zone and then failing. All right, so here we go. We're finding quite a few buyers here. We've tested up to this one, and it's already starting to reject. And well, let's see if we might get another test up here and trade up into this 16.25 here. Yeah, so we kind of missed this one. Now, yesterday we kind of went counter trend and got kind of hurt a little bit. We made up for it in the NASDAQ and looking at the same process in here. But we're also going to go through some different confluences here in the order flow to look at to make this a higher probability transaction. Okay, and right now, see that, look at the buyers mounting in here. Okay, we're looking for sellers, right? We're looking for sellers. And there's still more sellers than buyers, but they're really starting to ramp up that buying in here. Okay, so maybe we'll test up to here. Okay, maybe even a little bit further, maybe up into this swing here. Okay, and then we can reject it. All right, so if that is the case, then I will put a limit sell order up here. Okay, so I'm looking for it to test up here and reject and come back into the range. Right now, we don't know. The reason that I'm not putting a limit sell here is because of this buying. Okay, so I'm looking for maybe a stop run up into this swing here and then a move back into it. I do not think there are enough buyers here yet to be able to completely lift this back up into these higher areas. Okay, I'm still looking for some back and forth in here. Okay, we do not see that transition from sellers to buyers yet. Okay, we just see this cluster of buying in here, thinking we might squeeze a little bit higher at the moment. Okay, this is understanding the auction and the transactions within the price action. Let me see if there's any questions in here. I know this is all kind of new stuff in here as I start to detail this out. you know, once we get into some of the confluences in here in the order flow and what we're looking for, you will own this. For example, a slowdown, you know, his rejection stop run above a range is exactly this idea. Okay, or it could be absorption, or it could be just exhaustion up into here. You know, it can be any of those things. Okay, so then we're looking for down here, we're building the bottom edge in here, right? So now we're looking for a breakdown. Okay, this is where we're looking for the continuation of the trend. Okay, and we're looking for maybe the move down to about this 12 and a quarter here. Okay, so we kind of missed the opportunity up here, but we were looking for it to go maybe just a little bit higher, maybe up in here, or we put our order up in here and played it kind of safe here. Okay, so now look what's happening here. See the rejection come in. Okay, so look at the buyers starting to come back in. Now, where might they go? Okay, well, we look for these first swings in here. This one here at 15. Okay, and let's see if we can get rejection off of that. Now let's look at the context though, up here at 15. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, context is now we're starting to see more buyers mount, right? So we're likely to go higher this time, up maybe into our limit sell order up here. Okay, now you can trade these all sorts of different ways. Now again, this is not a trade recommendation. I am in sim down here, we are just going over this concept and then trade management. Okay, so this is where we're willing to be a seller up here. Okay, so let's see if they can break it here. Look at the buyer's mount here. Okay, and just to move up into this 16.5 or 16.75. Okay, we want to see it break this area here and then come up to here and then reject. All right. Let me simplify this a bit more. I'll take the volume dots off and I'll take the heat map off. And let's clear the drawings as well. We're just talking about these ranges in here, and acceptance and rejection in the auction. And that simplifies things quite a bit. What we're looking for though is to test up into an area that hasn't been tested before and then reject. Okay, now we might get run over here, and it might come up into this swing up here. Okay, the more buying that comes in, the stronger the move, and we'll get this impulse move up into this area up in here. Okay, now we do have the volume bars here, so we do see some of the volume and we know what's happening. We know there's quite a bit of buying up in here. Okay, so just looking for them to come up into this area here though. Okay, it's already come up above this swing here. We're looking for this swing and up into here in rejection. Now, one of the things that's going to help us a lot is understanding the order flow up into here. Okay, so let's turn our volume dots back on and our heat map back on. Okay, where did those sellers really come in? Well, probably up in about here, 17.5 or so. Okay, this isn't bad though here either, at 16.75, and that's where our limit sell is. And now we missed it again. Okay, now we still might get it on the buy side, but we didn't chase it. We had our reasons for it, and we saw the buying pressure, so we're looking for just a tick or two higher in here. And you can see that the sellers came in and brought it back down to this swing here. Okay, so now let's see if we can see sellers trade into this 14 and a half, or 14.75, just below it, and then let's see if we can get buyers come back into the top of the range in here. Okay, this is the new range here. Now, what we're covering in here is a lot more on volume profile, some of the concepts. And we're talking about a micro profile in here, though. Okay, so here's our chart range volume profile for this area in here. Right, so and we can see we have a kind of a double distribution area up here, and then all of this trading in here. Okay, so but we can also look at another profile, and let me insert a new one here. Okay, and we will reset this one at a specific time. Okay, we'll reset it at let's say right here at 10:36. On a minute. Okay, there we go. So here's our profile for 10:36. Right. So and you can see that we've already broken it and come back down here. Okay, so this little micro profile in here is what we're looking for, and then we're looking for the auction, what it looks like in here, and where it might go. Okay, so now we're back down to the bottom of this range here, and we see the sellers mounting. Okay, this time, because of all of this selling in here, I am looking for it to break. Okay, so let's we can even take a position on that. Okay, so there I go, I'm in, and I'm not looking for much. We can do a measured move in here. Okay, just for what we're looking for in here. Okay, maybe down to this kind of well, this is what we're looking for earlier, around this kind of 10.5 level. Okay, or maybe we have to only do half a move into this 12 level here. Okay, now see, look at, we're getting our rejection here. Okay, we're getting a bit of a pullback. Okay, we're looking at this small little range or right here. Okay, so now I got a pretty horrible fill here. I was looking for the follow through immediately in here, and we didn't get it. In fact, we're getting quite a bit of a pullback here, even above our little range in here. So likely we're going to, it's the next area is up here, or maybe it fails here where the sellers came in. Okay, so these are the transactions. Now let's look at the heat map. What is the heat map telling us? Okay, well, we see the offer up in here, and the bid is down here. There's so there's some area in here that sellers can drive it back down to. Okay, we just need to find some sellers. All right, now I've got a trade management conundrum in front of me here. Here's my stop, and here's my next limit order here. Right, so now not a good idea. I'm going to get stopped out, take a loss, and then get in right after. You know, so how would I want to handle that? Well, I would look for moving. Now I'm moving my stop, but we have to look at this in here. If we're going to get in multiple positions, This would be half a position, a third of a position, or a quarter of a position. Okay, so and what is the answer there? This we have to determine with our trade management and risk management. Okay, so we had quite a bit of pullback here, and we're back down here again. Okay, are we still getting sellers here? A bit. Okay, we made a lower high. Let's see if we can get our sellers in here. Boy, I would still take this. This still looks good in here for me. So all of that selling the third, fourth time, fifth time down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6. I'm still looking for the break here, and you know, we're looking for a move away from this range in here. And that would be our measured move back down to about here. Let me see some questions over here. Lasse, good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is new, and like I said, we'll have more details on this from the. You know, I'll create some videos in here. Right now, it's you know, the what we have under strategies and setups is a continuation pattern, a reversal pattern, and then now we're going to add in this kind of range bound pattern. Okay, and it's understanding the auction process within this range. Okay, now this is not a range bound trade here, down here. Okay, this is looking for a breakdown, a breakdown from this level to another level here. Okay, now this is we're again down here. Like, I'm still looking for this to break. Okay, this looks even better here. Now look at the conviction here. Look at the offer and the selling. Okay, what about the bid? Well, they're pulling. Okay, now you can even add more in here. Okay, so I just added at the same price level. Now I doubled my risk in here. Okay, at the same price level, but it looks good though. That's why I did it. Okay, and I'm just going to get stuffed here, it looks like. We took the same trade yesterday, and that's what we were looking for, was the breakdown in here. And we still have all of the justification for that in the setup. Okay, it's just not how the market is behaving right now. Okay, so now we have 2 on down here. Let's go through some trade management, because I don't want to take my stop here. I want to move it out of the range. Okay, because I want to add up here. All right, now I know we've talked about moving stops, etc., but I'm looking for adding up in here. Okay, this would be 2 positions. This would be my third position up here. Boy, pretty nasty. I mean, really selling mounting in here, and should have been looking at that range bound trade the whole time. Okay, we still have our reasons for back up into this area here, and then rejection. Okay, now we're going to get a nice stop run in here. We're going to be a part of that stop run. Okay, so it's just mounting right now. We may even consider top of this range here, but yeah, we can kind of kind of hide it up here. Again, this is not good trade management, but we're looking for this range bound activity in here. And now the buyers should be able to break this in here and get a stop run above it here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so just starting to mount. All right, so we're filled there. Okay, now comes the stop run. All right, this is problematic here. We're looking for the breakdown in the bigger picture from here on down to this 10.5 because of the rejection up here. Well, the buyers are coming in and attacking back up here again. Okay, so likely we're going to get a move back up into 20 now, right? And we're caught up into this, right? So yeah, we're going to take another stop here. Is what it looks like. Okay, so we're getting our move there. There we go. So we did get stopped out. Now let's see if we can still look for this rejection trade up in here, though. It's already starting to reject right to us. Yeah. So this was the swing up in here. All right. Okay, here's a move back down to the bottom of this range in here. Okay, I'll bet you we can buy that and see the move back up to the top. Okay, now the trend is reversed here. We know the buyers are moving the market, and we're looking just for the move to the top of the range here. It hit our limit here, but didn't. We're still in the queue. You guys can see. See the little blue line in here? That's us. Even in sim, this is great to be able to have that position in queue. All right, so we're still in the queue. Let's look at our bigger picture here. So are we looking for a move back up into, yeah, up into 20? We should get 20. All right, we already got filled, but we're looking for a little bit higher here. And let's take a look again here, our candlestick chart. Okay, 20 is transacting. Looking for a nice little pop, a stop run here. A little bit higher. Turning into a flag here, actually. Continuation pattern. But we're covering range bound patterns in here. Okay. So let's look for a measured move in here. Okay, 22 looks pretty good. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I put a limit up here at 22. Now I know we're going against the trend. We're detailing out this range bound idea. Okay, in fact, let's see if we can get back down to here, reject, and then trade it back up there. Okay, just almost hitting us here. There we go. Okay, so we're in. All right, so now we traded up into here, this liquidity. And now what we're looking for is a move back down to, I don't know, somewhere at least this 21 where it broke out from, or 20 and 3/4, and maybe back down to the swing around this 19.5. So let's put it down here. Okay, and we'll make a decision when it comes down to this, if it can come down to this 20 and 3/4. And I hate going against strength, I really do. But just trying to demo this range bound idea. Okay, so we got some nice exploration up above. And this is the swing we're actually looking for, kind of back to our break even now. Yeah, but we might have to just kind of call that quits. Maybe we get the move just down to here. Probably getting an iceberg right there. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting some iceberg activity there. All right, so I'm going to exit this and just drag and drop it on top here. Okay, and we'll look for the next one. It was just the absorption in here was starting to, we would have gotten filled, but it was the absorption here by the icebergs at the bottom of this area in here, still trending up, just not worth it. So let's see here. We broke out of our 20 area up here. We are going higher. Okay, here's our range. Boy, it's not, this is where I really like the NASDAQ in here, to be honest, like with this range bound idea. It's just a lot easier to see. And these little areas here, kind of naked areas in here, trade a lot more. They will retest into these areas in here a lot more frequently. Yeah, we have a VWAP, and I haven't been following it, or I haven't been demoing it yet too much. We will have a new release on it soon, so we can take a look in more detail. Okay, so see this area in here, like this looks pretty good in here, right? So this is where the buyers came in, but here's the swing. So we look for a test down here and a rejection, and then a move back up. Okay, so here's our test. Okay, and already and if we had a limit sell here, we would not have gotten filled. Okay, it's just not enough. This is one of the issues, as you guys saw, like we kind of waited and waited to get filled in some of these areas, and it took a while. Okay, here comes some sellers. Okay, testing now. See the selling mounting here, so maybe this is the next level we want to look at. We can put our limit sell there. Our limit buy, I'm sorry. Okay, this is where we're looking for the test. Okay, maybe it does a little bit below it too, a couple ticks below it here. Okay, so we're filled. And so what are we looking for? Move back up to here. Okay, might come back down one more level here to this 21 and a quarter, and then looking for a rejection there. Okay, look at the first swing is actually here at 23. Right, we're looking at kind of a bigger swing up here, but the first swing is actually 23. We have to be patient here. Maybe if you guys don't mind, we can go again. We can jump over to that NASDAQ. We'll have a lot more opportunities. I wanted to show more of the ES today, and we got caught up again in a trend trade to the downside instead of looking for the range bound. We should have known better. I should have known better in here. We had our reasons in here because of this rejection up here, and we wanted to retest back down here, and we saw some strong selling. We knew there was strong selling, so we were looking for a retest back down to here, and maybe 10 and a quarter here. We didn't get it, right? So anyway, here's an idea here, like on the 15-minute chart here. Okay, we tested back above, and now we can even look for a pullback to here, 18 and a half. You know, maybe that's the pullback that we're looking for. Okay, that's way down here. Okay, so now we've traded back down to this level underneath here. Okay, looking again for rejection, looking for buyers back up. Previous swing is up here now. So let's take a look also at our profiles in here. Let me get rid of this one. This one doesn't have any resets, right? Resets, yeah. Okay, so look at our profiles in here as well. Okay, so we're looking for rejection in the low volume pullback areas in here. Okay, and then back up to the top of the, where it kind of rejected up in here. Right, now this swing in here, on a lower time frame, this is our first test, and it's already testing there right now. Question is there more buyers in here? And I don't think there are. We're going with the trend, but there's not a whole lot of buyers up here. Okay, so we may consider taking our profit up here. Right, we might find more sellers come back down here again. A lot of absorption here by the icebergs in here, icebergs in here. So let's see if we can get back up above. Yeah, this is kind of like paint drying, guys. I'm gonna exit, and we're gonna jump over to the NASDAQ and see what's going on. Okay, this concept is a lot easier to understand over here on the NASDAQ. And let me see, stops and icebergs. Let's get them off the chart. Actually, we should probably leave them on the chart. This is a great tool for stops. All right. Okay, so yeah, this is we're going to get some action in here. Here's our move up to the top of this range. Now we're looking for the move down to this range here. Okay, and then we're looking for rejection. Okay, so let's put a limit sell here, or I mean a buy. Okay, here's our small range in here, which we already broke, and now we're talking about the top of this range here. Okay, so we have a limit buy down here, 18,240. Okay, right in front of this high liquidity here and the swing here. Okay, we have our reasons for the range bound trade. Okay, so here we're trading up into a new area here where it has not rejected before. Okay, so we can see if we get something up here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, let's put actually a sell stop in here, and then look for the sellers to take us into this trade here, back down to here. This way we can avoid the stop run. There we go. Okay, so now it's traded back up to here. It stop ran above here, right? Okay. Now we're looking for rejection up there. It's just moving too quick. I'd have to just set limits in here. Okay, so we're looking for the next swing, probably down in here somewhere. We have our limit way down here. Next zone would be up here on the buy side. Okay, or swing high for the day. Okay, we can look at a new area in here for potential limit. Or maybe this is better. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Okay, so we're filled. Okay, now we're looking for the move back up to next swing up here. Okay, we can also look at we're looking at a lot of profile up in here as well. Okay, so maybe we're looking for the move back up to here. Call, we still have our limit buy down here. Okay, so just testing this new level here and it's breaking it. So next level is up here at our 250, and then our next swing up here at 252. Okay, new level at 250, just traded and rejected. Okay, so let's see if we can get a bit of a trend here and just trade up to the next level up here in the bigger range. Okay, now we know that it traded up here, right? So we can look for it did exhaust up here, but we're looking for buyers up here to try to break it now, and then trade up to this next level up here. Okay, so now it's traded up here a third time. Do we find buyers? Yes. All right, so let's see them go to the next level up here. Okay, and test into this zone. Okay, just about there, just shy of it. I want to see them break it though. I want to see them test over to here. Clearly, this is a much better market for this idea. And NASDAQ kind of skids by these areas in here and rejects before it rejects. Right, so let's see it here. Let's see the stop run back up above. No, not yet. Still rejecting at the top of the range. Here we go. Okay, so there's our move. Right, and let's see if we can. Well, there's our rejection immediately. Okay, back down to here. Okay, so where's our higher time frame move? Okay, well, maybe down to here. Okay, we can start to set some limit orders. This one's all starting to build out as well. It's pretty good. Okay, and then now we're up at all-time highs, or not all-time highs, I'm sorry, highs for the day, and rejected. Wow, there's a nice big move. Nice big stop run. Okay, let's look at these small ranges. Even in this volatility in here, look for some ranges. Okay, we're seeing high liquidity on the offer, on the bid, back down. Okay, even in this in here, it just hit this range here and then back up again. Just not quick enough. So we're looking for the bottom of this range here. Okay, now this one's tested, so we're looking for the next one. Okay, and the next one down here, this is not tested down here. That's why we're looking for it. Market Pulse works really well with this, as I was telling you guys. Okay, so we got filled on that one. Let's get our Market Pulse tool up. Falling pressure, balance, okay. Okay, so our first take profit would be here. We can maybe stretch it and look for the next one up here. All right, it's already done our first move though. Just looking for a bigger move. Okay, I'm going to move this guy down to here and this swing. Okay. And I'm going to move this guy down to just above this one here. Okay, into this little zone here. Okay, we're filled, and we see our rejection. So yeah, this one details out the market. I mean, it works on the S&P, believe me. It's just detailing it out so quickly here, or it's demoing it for us so quickly here. The concept of rejection immediately. Obviously, it's $5 per tick. It's a lot more volatile. It's tech. So this is a better market for demoing this for sure. But we can jump back and look at the same ideas in here. Yeah, I got caught up in the looking for the break here for sure. We had our justifications for it, yeah, not not going over the concept in here. Okay, so in the S&P, we look for the move back down here, and then the break. So this is the area in here, or then the rejection. Sorry. And this is just taking way too long. Well, let's go back to the NASDAQ. You can also look at this here in terms of, and this is what I want to cover in here is this. It doesn't have to be a horizontal range, and we're looking at the horizontal ranges because it also works really well with the market profile or volume profile, but it can also work here very well in diagonal. Okay. Again, looking for rejection in certain areas, and then a move back into value area here in a diagonal range. Okay, so here's the swing here, but maybe down here is where we need to go. Now again, I don't like to short the strength, but yeah, I would look for it here as well. Okay, now our swing, see our swing down here looks pretty good now. Okay, so let's do it. Let's put our limit buy down there. Okay, and let's see if we can move into that, and we're not. We miss it. Okay, we're back to highs of the day. Big stop run there. I'm going to keep it and move it up a little bit here, but I'm looking for this swing here. Okay, we're filled, went through it. Maybe one more here, and a move back up. All right, here's another one. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to add to it. Oh, all the way back down to this one. Yikes. Okay. So we're looking for this. This is a pretty big one here. So I'm looking for a pullback now. Okay, and then maybe back up to where it dropped from here. So we got filled in. We didn't get stopped. We didn't have a stop in. So we're just we're filled in. We got filled in here. We left an order in here and got filled. Right. Okay. So maybe back up to this range, or we'll take a few there, and we'll maybe take a few up in here as well. Okay, there's one, and still looking for this to go higher. Maybe this is a little too lofty here, maybe a little bit down. This is a limit. Okay, top of this range here maybe is what we're looking for again. That is the first stop up here. Okay, on the downside, yeah, it's this swing here, and maybe this liquidity or this swing here that we're looking for. Okay, so here's the rejection already here, back to the top of this small range. Still looking for a bit more out of it, back to the top of this range here. And we're not getting it. Okay, just shy of it. Still a good area here to take our profit on this one. Okay, so that's one. Still looking for a little momentum up into here. See if we can get it. Okay, if not, we'll just exit. Okay, so here we just traded to here. Now we're looking for the rejection here and then move back up and take one more. So we still have one left, and let's see if we can get maybe a bit of a runner back up to. I still like this area here. And let's see the break. And just shy of it. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're filled on that one. And we are flat. Is there a way to duplicate the trend line in the same angle? Not really. We don't have that functionality, but this is the way that I do it. Well, let's go up here. Click on ray, make a ray, and then I just make another one because I'm still in the drawing mode. Okay, and then I come back up here and I edit it. I click on it, and then I can move it. Okay, so I grab it and I can move it. Right, and then you press escape and you're out of the if you want to just draw a single element and then escape out of the drawing mode, use this checkbox here, and let me show you. Okay, so we'll make a another ray here, and then see how I'm back to normal here. Yep. Let's see, guys. Now I know that this has been quite raw to go over these concepts, or this range bound concept in here. I am convinced of it. It has not been a couple of it's been a kind of a bumpy ride the last couple of days, but you see this again and again, and this kind of rejection in areas just like this right here, right now, and then a move away, back to retest an area. The market does this all day long, and it does it on all time frames in here. I mean, you could just hyper scalp these things. You can come up with an algo to look for this as well. Look for the test, look for the rejection, back to the other side, etc. Now, what we've been covering in our education for a long time has been looking for a more directional move, and we're shying away from that now, just for this week or last few days, and I will have more kind of criteria to put together, but the concept is very, very simple, of testing an area and rejecting, coming back into value. Now the risk that you have on that is you don't get rejection, you get continuation. Okay, so I mean, and that is a risk. It's a big one. Like right here, you can just trade that and trade it back up to here. I mean, it happens all day long. And here we can trade it back down, and then look for maybe a move back down to here. Right, so yeah, here it went above this one, right? So we should get a rejection there. It already did it. It already did it down here. I'm getting greedy. Okay, so I'm just going to flatten it then. And you can, let me just show you, like, so for example, the trading journal in here, some of the activity yesterday, just go over it here, because yeah, I actually had one big loss yesterday, end of the day, and this was actually due to a demo. It wasn't necessarily my this back and forth range bound strategy in here. However, you just continue to see the profits mounting, and okay, so and this is today here, as you can see, 5.7, right? We went dipped below, but we're back up again here. So anyway, the you have to be quite quick, especially with this NASDAQ in here, and this is some scalping, but the concept and the order flow, we're not abandoning any of our order flow elements in here at all. So here's our move back down below. Okay, we're seeing some momentum. I'm looking for a little bit more, and then we can look for, there we go. Okay, now let's see rejection from there on up to where, maybe here. We're not looking for much, right? Here's our first little swing here. Our second one would be up here or up in here, right? And you'll see profits just mount and mount and mount, and you have to be really quick with it. But it's really understanding order flow at a really at a very quick level, very, very fast, and you'll see it though again and again. This is what the market does. It's always testing these areas here. It's testing value, see if there's going to be buyers or sellers up in here. What does the market think of it? That's why we get all these tests. Right, so here we're getting tests back up into there. Here it comes back down to here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, one more up here. And now look at our higher time frame volume profile in here. See how it's building this out in here? This is a good area to consider here, just below that swing. Now I'm looking for a retest back up into here. Okay, because of this profile here. Because of this profile, it was thinly traded in here. Now it actually can come down quite a bit lower. You know, because of this profile in here, we're looking for back and forth activity. Okay, here's another rejection here. Let's see if we can get it back up to here. And we'll take both at that point. There you go. Okay, so and then up in here. Okay, so there's certain times that you want to trade this in your range bound activity. Here's our test back up to here. And maybe we can go a little bit higher, maybe this swing, or we can get in here, right? And let's see. Right, so we'll get in the top of this one here and look for a retest back down to either here or back down to here. All right, and what we're looking for is range bound activity within this profile in here. It's thinly traded. Okay, it's auctioning in here. We're going to get back and forth activity in here. All right, well here, this one's not bad. We have high liquidity up here, and we have our limit sell here. Okay, so let's see, we're just about to get filled. All right, and we're back. Okay, so now we're filled. Okay, it came back up a little bit higher here. Still looking for a rejection, and now I'm looking for this swing here though. Okay, and I'm looking for a move back down into this. I'm looking for a rejection up here actually, and I want it to trade back down into here. The profile. The high volume node is down here. If that's the case, we can maybe move one of our targets down to here. Right? Makes sense. Okay, so we're still looking for range bound activity, rejection up here, and then auctioning in here in the profile. Okay, there's our target and second target. Okay, probably still coming down lower here. All right, it's good to end the webinar, I think, on this one, because there's more reason for this now, and understanding the auction process, and it's very, very simple. You know, we auctioned up in here. You see the tapered edge, and then we come back into a mean reversion or back into the profile here. You can look for, and it didn't auction too well in here, and it's down here. So we're looking for it to auction back and forth into this range, and it's doing it beautifully here. Right, so let's put in, let's cancel all of our, clear all of our drawings, and we'll put in some horizontal lines here. Up here, right, where we're looking for rejection, and down here, right? And it's actually the bottom of that range. Okay, and we still have a limit order down here. In fact, let me get back into this. Okay, so yeah, we still have our limit buy down here. Well, I'm going to have to cancel that, and maybe we'll get down here. Maybe we'll trade another range in here. Okay, now look what's happening. Okay, back up to high volume node here. Okay, let's look at our ranges. All right, well, if it can do that, well, then maybe it can come back up to this one here. Then I would look for some rejection up in here. Okay, and there's 250 up here, 18,250. Anyway, guys, this is not trade recommendations. We're going through understanding rejection, absorption, exhaustion, and where price might go to retest, okay, based on the structure. Okay, so we always get these little breakouts like this, and then a move back. Okay, breakdown and then a move back. Retesting areas in here until it is ready to trend and ready to move. Get enough people off sides, or just see enough buyers or sellers willing to move the market away. Is this making sense to you guys? I hope so. Maybe anyone over in Discord, any I hope this is not unclear. Well, using stops is you have to kind of look at your range, Coca Bolo. This is important, and you're going to have to manage your risk depending on the swings in the range. That's really important, right? And also, I would say like this is a great thing to take a look at first off in sim and replay mode, and then with micros. All right, and we'll add some more confluences in here, like this profile, for example, high liquidity, absorption, exhaustion, these types of things. Trend as well. Like we got caught up in this ES trade to the downside in here, and then we even added into it here, thinking we'd get our rejection here, right? And it just kept going. This is where the trend move took place, and you can see it wiped us out, right? And this is the danger in here. This is error on my fault, or my side here. Yeah, I was looking for the break. I still have my justifications for that. I mixed two different strategies together in here, and that is a big no-no, a big one. I even added to it up here. Everything is off in here because of that, right? It's either stick with this one up here and then get stopped out. Fine, I'm fine with that. Or stick with this one here and then get stopped out, maybe up in here someplace, right? Because I'm looking for this. This should work now. Look at all that selling mounting in here. It should work now, and it should break down, and it should come back down into these lower levels in here. And it didn't. It rejected. Okay, we didn't even get a move back down into these little areas and around 12 and 13. We didn't even get that. Okay, the buyers came in and started moving it. But also, your market. Which market do you want to trade? This is going to work real nice in gold, crude oil, NASDAQ. As the market kind of skids, beyond some of the swings and then rejects. S&P bonds is going to be a whole different ball game. 5-year, 10-year, whatever it is. This is going to be very, very different. I haven't even looked at it in the bonds, and yeah, I mean, heck, with the bonds, they're so slow moving. You can just set your orders in here and look for a move. Hopefully you get filled. You're probably going to have to, with the bonds, you're probably going to have to get in with a market. You're just going to be way at the end of the line. And so or front run, your level. Okay, so if you want to play that, and you can see like this majority of the time we kind of played in the ES here, and it was like paint drying. We come over here and we're like, whoa, in the NASDAQ, all sorts of opportunities. Okay, now look at this in the NASDAQ. We auctioned down here. We were looking for sideways action. Now we're auctioning back up here and we're finding buyers. Okay, so now buyers should be able to lift it back up to the top of this range up in here, or maybe all-time or highs for the day. Okay, I would look for this swing up here. Okay, and it's first trading here. This is the first stop right here at 51, 52, and then maybe a little bit of rejection back down to 45 here. Okay, so a bit of a pullback here. Now we're back up. And yeah, looking for buyers to hit this 55 area here. That looks pretty good. Okay, a lot of liquidity there at 55. So looking for that to fill. Okay, so much easier to go through the live analysis like this, instead of fumbling around for the trading in here. You guys can use hotkeys, no problem. Maybe we'll do that next time. Here, I'll show you where you can find that. You can also get your stream decks, etc. But hotkeys work just great. Just go into settings, keyboard shortcuts in here, and then you can go through your instruments on trading in here, right? And very, very quickly get in and out. Okay, so buy on the ask, or buy on the bid, sell on the ask, sell on the bid, market sell, market buy. Okay, so boom, you're in. All right. Yeah, maybe we'll play around with that next time. Okay. All right, guys. Well, anyway, yeah, you can still see it's a bit raw, but this concept in the market, in the market mechanics, it's there, and at least in the stock indexes, that's for sure. This might not work over in wheat or some other market, coffee, or whatever it might be. Okay, but it can work really well, as you can see here in NASDAQ, and you get good at this. You're basically like a market maker. You're providing liquidity down here at the bottom of the swing, looking for rejection back up to another area up in here. Right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for coming. I'll see you on Friday. Tomorrow we have Jay Trader and then Scott Pulcini. And I hope to build this more out for you with much better content on Friday. Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll see you then.